Hello, this is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. Let's start this travel video with an unanswered question. How can a never captured human-like monster live next door to one of the great urban centers of the world? The monster is the famed Sasquatch, and the urban environment is Vancouver and the adjoining Fraser River Valley. Let's jump in the vehicle and take a drive through the Fraser River Valley just west of Vancouver. In this video, we're going to focus on the area around Agassiz and Harrison Hot Springs, a popular tourist area. The small town of Kilby is just a little tourist town, but we'll stop by there, and it's very close to the big lumber area at one time, which was Harrison Mills. It is all urbanization with skyscrapers, rails, highways, and people. The Fraser River Valley is wide and a rich area. There are cities that have formed in this huge valley. There's Vancouver, of course, on the seacoast, but they say that a city that will be even larger than Vancouver soon, Surrey, with its skyscrapers, is in the valley. And as you come west out of Vancouver, there's other cities. For example, Langley, Abbotsford has its own airport, international airport. There's the city of Chilliwack, and Maple Ridge up in the north here. There are other huge cities. This whole area of the river valley is broad and very heavily populated as you get near the coast and Vancouver. The Canadian Pacific Railway was built on the north side of the river, and the Canadian National later was built on the south side. The early trains were these steam locomotives. This was big lumbering country in the early days. They hauled them out by teams of horses and loaded them onto several branch railways that ran north along the river. We made this video right along the Harrison River that flows out of Lake Harrison up here by Harrison Hot Springs, a very popular tourist area that we'll visit in this video as well. But we stayed around the little town of, the little historic town of Kilby. It was a little breezy at the campground along the Harrison River, a great country for the hideout for the Sasquatch. The campground was right at Kilby. For several generations, the Kilby family ran the supply area. You can see their buildings were all built on stilts because the Fraser River flooded year after year, and buildings had to be built off the ground. Here they are floating boats and rafts in their own front yard. This is the main large building where the store and merchandise was kept. And again, built off the ground, that was a big ramp on the left that walked up to the second floor that counteracted the flood season. The big sawmill operation a few kilometers away was a sizable operation. The Kilby family raised a few generations of kids here, and they always had things to do. Today you can walk around the area and look at some of the old machinery and buildings, and you can stay overnight in one of these tent affairs. They've got a few ducks and chickens around the place to entertain the kids who visit. Let's look at some of the old farm machinery. This was a mower used for cutting hay. How would you like to ride that? Steel wheels over bumpy ground. This one too, a rake. Get bounced right off the seat, and then your horses run away on you. You can run into trouble right away, but you have to hold your balance on those sitting on those seats. This is an old seed drill pulled by horses, and look at the size of that kid, age of him. The kids helped do the farm work too. I'll bet it was a lot of fun. Here are some old milk cans and cream cans, and that was a separator there that separated the milk from the cream. And no dryers for the clothes. In those days, they had to hang them up near the ceiling where the warmer air was. And this was an old sewing machine, no electric motor there. It ran by pushing a foot pedal that turned the wheel and sewed the clothes. Those irons were heated on the stove, and then you could iron your clothes. Today we have a lot of clothes that don't need ironing because of the kind of material that they're made from. If you wanted a carpet in the house, you had to make your own. This was a rug hooker for making rugs. They had a bedroom set up. Look at the old water jug in the basin there. There was no running water or electricity in the houses. You can make out the light chimney on the left side of that dresser. That was all you had for light. Here are a couple of machines from the old days. The one in front there in black, that's a calculator. Much different than computer calculators today. And look at that telephone on the wall, the size of it. That was a party line. You had to share the line with other neighbors. And if you listened in on what they were saying, you could get the community gossip. That was called rubbering on the line. And as a kid, I used to rubber on the line, listen in to what the neighbors were saying, and tell my parents about it. The store had a lot of old-time merchandise on display. Many of these products have changed since the old days. Most household items were in tin and glass containers. Plastic was not yet invented. Here are some of the glasses containers in the old days. Jams, fruits, and vegetables were preserved in glass jars. Your parents or grandparents might recall some of these things, like lemon extract, and Nabob is a popular brand name. Spices, washing powder, starch. Here are some of the old Mule Team borax cleaners. They just had a lot of old-time products from pioneer days. These were tobaccos. Cigarettes, tobaccos were popular. This is a spittoon where people would spit out their tobacco juice that they'd been chewing on. This is an old school bell that the kids like to take turns ringing to announce that recess was over and school was in. And this was a set of the old-time gas pumps. Gas was in the top, and you filled your car up from these kind of pumps. No credit cards in those days. It was all cash sales. And neither was there any mail delivery in those days. You all had to go to the post office, and you opened up your little mailbox and got the mail out. Let's drive on down the road a bit to a place called Harrison Hot Springs. The Harrison Lake area was the route of the first gold seekers on their way upstream to the first Fraser River gold rush. This route was quickly abandoned, though, in favor of following the Fraser River more directly over to west to Hope and north, then up through the Fraser Canyon River area. Harrison Lake is a beauty of a lake, and the hot springs have mushroomed into a major tourist resort. We are also in the middle of the homeland of that mysterious, mythical monster wilderness, a man-type character called the Sasquatch. We parked our motorhome here just right along the beach and enjoyed the sunshine. As you can see, Harrison Hot Springs has really built up in recent years. It has become a popular tourist destination. There was a nice playground area along the beach for the kids. Everything was in full bloom. There was quite a variety of plants that I don't know the names of, but I recognize these tulips here. Like I say, it was a nice, relaxing place. And we are in the middle of the land of that character, the Sasquatch. This is a newspaper clipping in the little Kilby Museum on Sasquatch. It says under the word there, big hairy giants wandering the hills. Better believe it. Reports of a man-like ape or gorilla-looking creature has been reported here in this area as well as in other parts of the mountains, and ranging into even into western Alberta. They call him Bigfoot, and they also call him the Sasquatch. This is about the only reported photo of the Sasquatch. Is it real? Is it a fake of someone dressing as this imaginary creature? There are thousands of reports of such a creature, but no actual evidence. Is Sasquatch a myth, imagination only? Or is it a rare creature, few in number, that inhabits only the furthest and darkest wilderness mountain areas? Along the beach in Harrison Hot Springs, there's this statue of the Sasquatch, and there is another display or two, and a few of the businesses name themselves related to the Sasquatch. Look at the molds or prints of a Sasquatch on the floor at the Kilby Museum. The museum has several footprints of the Sasquatch. Could this be the real footprint of a kind of a mountain monster? When I was a kid, I had a trap line. I was about 14 years old in grade 8, and I ran a little trap line. We lived in the upper reaches of the Red Deer River in western Alberta. And every Saturday I'd put my skis or snowshoes on, and I would go and check my traps. I was trapping ermine or weasels. You know, they're brown fur in the summertime, but in the winter it turns to that polar white. And they were worth some money. I sent those pelts to Winnipeg, Manitoba, to the Hudson Bay Company. And I would cut a cedar shingle in the shape of a leaf, and then I would stretch that hide over that shingle, and it would dry, and then I sent it away. And I was, on a Saturday morning, I was checking my trap line, and I couldn't believe it, but in the snow, and I can see the prints plainly, footprints. I can see the toes and the footprints. And I measured them. I had a little .22 caliber rifle, repeater bolt action rifle that I always had with me. And I measured those footprints in the snow. And you know, when you shoot a rifle, you put the stock up against your shoulder and you aim it this way. And the length of those footprints in the snow, from the end of the rifle, the wood butt, to where the magazine or the clip went in, the bullets partway under your other hand here, that distance was about almost a half a meter. And the footprints, I remember they were fairly wide. They're wide, not as wide as your shoulders, but half to three quarters that wide. And I was quite excited. I couldn't see or understand what these footprints were like. There were no other prints around, nobody else around. So I followed the prints, and they led over a hill, around a bend, and down into a dark gully. It was dark there because there was a lot of spruce trees, and the sun didn't shine in there. And I thought, well, that thing went down in there, I'll follow it down. So I started down into that dark gully, and I took a few steps, and I realized that what if that thing came at me? My little 22 rifle wouldn't do much good. I might be in some danger here. So some fear set in quickly on me. So I turned around and I walked back out of that gully with my cross-country skis, and I didn't even bother checking the rest of my traps that day. I went right home. So I told my parents about these footprints in the snow. And I wanted my dad to come with me back out to see, and I'd show him those prints. But he was doing something else and said, oh, no, I'm not interested. I believe you. That's okay. So the rest of the winter, I looked for those footprints, but I never saw any evidence of them again. So I don't know. Am I crazy? Maybe. But I can see those footprints in the snow as plain as it was yesterday. Well, we'll wind her down about now. This is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. If you want to see when we're putting more videos on the internet as we travel around the country looking for stories, hit the subscribe button. That'll tell you when we're putting some videos back on the internet. And until then, we'll see you down the trail. To find more videos, just Google my address there, Don Barnett 5090. Click my name, and then click the word playlists in the middle of the page, and scroll down. Each playlist contains several travel videos.